Part 8, Lithosphere and Hydrosphere. The previous part, we studied about how Earth originated and how Earth got a present form or structure. In this class, we are going to study about spheres of Earth out of Lithosphere and Hydrosphere. Introduction to spheres. Earth is a very complex place. Although it looks like one large structure, it's actually got a lot going on that you may not see if you don't look closely. All of the process on Earth are driven by four spheres, which we describe individually but are really all connected. The names of each of these spheres come from Greek words that describe what they are made of: geo for ground, hydro for water, bio for life, and atmos for air. Let us look at each of the four spheres in a bit more detail to gain a better understanding of how they help make up with the earth. The area near the surface of the earth can be divided into four interconnected spheres: lithosphere or the geosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere. Think of them as four interconnected parts that make up a complete system. In this case of life on Earth, environmental scientists use this system to classify and study the organic and inorganic materials found on the planet. Atmosphere, biosphere, lithosphere or geosphere, and hydrosphere. Atmosphere comprises of all gases. Biosphere include all living organisms. Lithosphere is a solid part of the air, and hydrosphere is the liquid part of the air. Lithosphere. The word lithosphere is derived from the word sphere combined with the Greek word lithos, which means rock. The lithosphere is the solid outer section of Earth, which includes Earth crust, the outermost layer of rock on Earth, as well as the underlying cool, dense, and a fairly rigid upper part of the upper mantle. The lithosphere extends from the surface of Earth to a depth of about 64 to 100 kilometers. This relatively cool and rigid section of Earth is thought to float on top of the warmer, non-rigid and partially melted material directly below. Earth is made up of several layers. The outermost layer is called Earth crust. The thickness of Earth crust varies. Under the oceans, the crust is only about 5 to 10 kilometers thick. Under the continents, however, the crust thickness to about 35 kilometers and reaches the depth of up to 60 kilometers under some mountain ranges. Beneath the crust is a layer of rock material that is also solid, rigid, and relatively cold, but is believed to be made up of denser material with a different chemical composition. This layer is called the upper part of the upper mantle and varies in depth from about 64 to 100 kilometers below Earth's surface. The combination of the crust and this upper part of the upper mantle, which are both comprised of relatively cool and rigid rock material, is called the lithosphere. Below the lithosphere, the temperature is thought to reach 1000 degrees Celsius, which is warm enough to allow rock material to flow if pressurized. Seismic evidence suggests that there is also some molten material at this depth. This zone directly below the lithosphere is called asthenosphere, from the Greek word asthenas, meaning big. Lithosphere, including both the solid portion of the upper mantle and earth crust is carried on top of the weaker and less rigid ionosphere, which is in continual motion. This motion creates stress in the rigid rocks layers above it, and the plates of lithosphere and forced against each other. This motion of the lithosphere plates is known as plate tectonics and is responsible for many of the movements that we see on Earth's surface today, including earthquakes, certain type of volcanic activity, and continental drift. Drift means moving away and convergent and divergent forces. The sphere on which we live is known as lithosphere. Litho means rock and sphere means layer. The upper layer of the earth is made of soil and solid materials like rock. Approximately 29% of the surface of the earth is covered with a lithosphere. This layer is almost 64 kilometer to 100 kilometer thick. The thickness of the lithosphere is not the same everywhere on the earth. Similarly, their interior and exterior do not have identical physical features. It is mostly made up of substance like soil and rock. Lithosphere got this name because of the word litho and sphere. Litho means rock and sphere means layer. The upper layer of the earth is made up of soil and solid materials like rock. Earth almost 29% covered by lithosphere and its thickness 64 kilometer to 100 kilometer. The thickness of lithosphere is differ from one place to another, not same as in everywhere. So the interior and exterior of the earth is different. Lithosphere is made up of substance like soil and rocks. Landforms like mountains, plateaus, plains, and valleys are seen on the lithosphere. The temperature increases as we move towards the center of the earth. The molten rocks in the interior of the earth are known as magma. Temperature increases as we move towards the center of the earth. Lithosphere landforms different in different areas, just like mountains, plateaus, plains, and valleys. Landforms like mountains, plateaus, plains, and valleys we can see on the Earth's surface. In the interior of the Earth, there are many gases present, and Earth which is rise up with the pressure and heat in the interior of the Earth. But the pressure of rocks of the surface of the Earth is equally strong. Means interior and exterior force is equally strong. That is why balance between upper part and lower part going to maintain so that the crust of the earth does not break. When the balance between two is not maintained, earth crust breaks and a volcano erupts or earthquake going to happen. Danvin asking question to his mummy, how is the lithosphere useful to us? Mummy giving answer to Danvin, where can we construct our home if the lithosphere is not there? Without a lithosphere, how can we get water to drink, agriculture for food, minerals for industries, and forest? Draw a picture depicting all the details you observe on the lithosphere based on our conversation. Lithosphere is not there where we can construct our house, means it is the surface area of the earth, and we will get water from the surface of the earth. We can make agriculture crops on the surface of the earth, and we will get food from the lithosphere. Various type of the minerals included in the lithosphere that is helpful for the industries, and other natural resources like a forest, etc. we get from the lithosphere. Hydrosphere. The hydrosphere is the part of a planet that's made of water. Oceans, rivers, lakes, and clouds are all typically included in the hydrosphere. In the water parts of our planet, including
vapor that hovers above the Earth's surface, and water that is underground make up its hydrosphere. Now, let me talk to you about the hydrosphere. The hydrosphere is the liquid component of the Earth. It includes oceans, seas, lakes, ponds, river, and streams. It means that it is a source of all water. It includes all the water sources. On the surface of the earth, the area of water is more than that of land. On the surface of the earth, the area of water is more than that of land. Hydrosphere covers 71% of the earth's surface. Hydrosphere covers 71% of the earth's surface. A water body in hydrosphere that carries a huge amount of water is known as the ocean. These oceans are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. All these oceans are connected with each other. The water bodies close to the land are known as seas, bays, straits, gulfs, etc. The oceans on the earth are huge and deep. Valleys with the depth of 10 to 11 kilometers are located at their bottom. The ocean bed has similar features like that of the surface of the earth. The ocean bed base of the ocean is just like that of the surface of the earth. It has high mountains, plateaus, vast plains, valleys, etc. also included ocean beds or base. A hydrosphere is the total amount of water on a planet. The hydrosphere includes water that is on the surface of the planet, underground, and in the air. A planet's hydrosphere can be liquid, vapor, or ice. On Earth, liquid water exists on the surface in the form of oceans, lakes, and rivers. Danvin asking doubt to his mummy, how much water will there be in the sea? Since sea water is salty, is it useful to us? Mummy answered, yes. Oceans contain 97% of the total amount of water on the earth. Approximately one third of remaining water is trapped in ice caps and glaciers at poles, Himalayas, and other mountains. 97% of total amount of water on the earth, and one third of remaining water is trapped in the ice caps and glaciers, especially at the poles of Himalayas and other mountains. Some water is accumulated in the lakes, and some flows in the rivers, and some stored in the interior of the earth as groundwater. The amount of potable fit for drinking water is less. Fresh water is precious. This fresh water is required by the living beings for their existence. The moisture for rain, which is main sources of fresh water, comes from the oceans only. Valuable chemicals, minerals, salt, fishes, etc. are found in the seas. As we have living organisms on the land, in the same way, the seas and the oceans have aquatic life inside them. The tremendous force of waves, tides, and the currents of oceans are potential sources of generating electricity. Besides, these oceans are also useful as waterways for traveling through water. This world outline represents oceans and seas of the world.